Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. Let's make sure you guys can hear me first because last night we had a problem and nobody can hear me. So, yeah. Uh-huh. Did he shave his head?
He said he wanted a haircut. So I took a then he took a shower.
Uh-huh. There's something weird about that.
And he said, I have to sew him an ounce in my bag because he does, a half ounce in my bag because my dad was up to meat. I said, you gotta do the way he says he wants that stuff. I was like, really? That doesn't smell.
Yeah.
And that's the excuse he's aiming for back over there.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, he's been over there every single day but Wednesday. This past Wednesday, just passed, was the only day he did not go over there in 2 weeks. He went over there before he came home tonight.
Yeah.
Then he came home and got that $200 and after went back over there. And now he came home, ate, took a shower, and went right back over there. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, I said, he's like, I don't understand why you're so mad at me for seeing my dad. I said,
right.
No grown man sees his dad this fucking much. This is ridiculous. I mean, it's literally ridiculous. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Okay, let's try this video again since I got interrupted. Okay, so tonight I have a story to tell you guys. And it's a very special, very emotional story for me. It's about miscarriages. A lot of people don't talk about it. A lot of people try to ignore it and move on. And it's not really something you can ignore. You can always heal. Time does heal, but it doesn't take it completely away. There's not one day that I don't think about all three of them, who they would have been, what they would have looked like, you know, what their names would have been, how they would have smelled, who they would have been, their personality, anything like that. So, I'm going to start with my first miscarriage all the way up to my third one. So, the first time I got pregnant, I was 19 years old. I had just moved to Florida with a boyfriend, didn't know him long. Found out when I was like 8 weeks pregnant. My first sign was that my boobs hurt really bad. I went to my first OB appointment. They said I was 8 weeks. And then, like, literally a week later, I was at work one day. And I just remember feeling something go down my legs. And so I go to the bathroom because I noticed that there's blood on me. And I asked work if I could leave early. And at this point, I'm really panicking because I know that I'm pregnant. And I go to the emergency room in Punta Gorda. Well, I get to the emergency room. They look at me. I've dilated like a pinky finger size, so maybe like a centimeter. And I just remember them wheeling me back to do an ultrasound. They told me that I was like 7 weeks plus or minus some days, which is off from what the OB had told me. They told me I was like 8 weeks and a few days. So I just remember, like, this can't be real. I called James, which is, my children's dad, and he rushed from work. He came to me, found out that I was having a miscarriage, went to another hospital to confirm that that's exactly what it was, and it was. And now we're getting into the touchy part. James was really upset. I'm not trying to make him sound like a jerk or a dick, but he was. He blamed me for it. And I remember just waiting for the baby to come out. They sent me home, didn't give me any medicine to help me pass it. They wanted me to pass it naturally, just waiting for the baby to go home. Well, the next day, if I still hadn't passed the baby, I was supposed to go to the hospital. So my grandma and my mom came down, and my brother. At this point, everybody knew what was going on, and we went to Denny's, and I was too emotional to eat. And I remember being in the Denny's bathroom after James had blamed me. This is in Port Charlotte, Florida, by the way. and crying, sitting on the toilet, not understanding what was going on. This was my first baby. What I did wrong? Did I not eat enough? Did I not drink enough water? Like, what what the hell is going on, kind of thing. And so fast forward to the hospital, get to the hospital. A few hours have passed. I'm laying in the bed. I'm crying. I'm emotional. Everyone's around me. Everyone's watching me. And my stomach starts to cramp. And I start to literally pass a lot of blood, a lot of clots, and the baby. This might sound weird, but because this was my first baby, I did take pictures. They ended up putting the baby, it came out and it was like this big. And it had its little arms crossed like this. And they I was panicking because I was like, "This is my first baby. I wanna see my baby. I don't care if it's dead or not. I wanna see my baby." Like, it was very emotional for me. I passed the baby at 2:10, I believe, in the afternoon, if I remember correctly, and the nurse was super nice, super, super nice, very supportive. She let me know that it wasn't my fault, that sometimes miscarriages happen when you're that young, and that doesn't mean that you're not gonna be able to carry again. Um, So they put the baby in a little tube and they sent it into testing, and I never heard back. They said that they were going to tell me, the gender of the baby, what happened, all that stuff, and I never heard anything back. So then what happened was the nurse brought in a box, and this box right here is my miscarriage box, and in it I have stuff from that baby and my second one and my third one. Um, I'm going to open it up with you guys. Um, but I want to finish the story about the first loss first. So I'm trying not to get emotional while talking about it. So what happened was after I passed the baby, James's dad sent me flowers, made me feel important, made me feel like he cared. And I remember waking up the next day feeling completely lost. Like there was this hole in my heart. Like I couldn't understand what the fuck was going on. Um, and just lonely. And I like really hated myself. And I cried for 2 weeks before I went back to work. And I remember on the day that I was supposed to go back to work, I cried and actually asked to go home. And they told me to stick it out and wait. So I was blamed for that miscarriage. I know he was hurt. I forgive him for that. I'm not trying to make him sound bad, but James was the only person that I had in Florida at that time besides his dad. And his dad and I aren't close. Um, and I just really needed James, and he wasn't there. And that did a lot of damage to our relationship. So this box right here is the box that the nurse gave me. In it, I have. It looks like this on the inside. I have a baby blanket that the nurse gave me. Looks like this. There's like a little angel on it. If you guys can see that, oh, angel. It's an angel. Um, the only people that know that I have this box is me, my mom, everybody who was with me, and my children's dad. Um, and I got this. It's a little foot, like a little baby's foot. And this is the pacifier that I got for the first baby. James is really into World of Warcraft, was really into World of Warcraft then. So this was the pacifier that I ordered online for the baby. And it is a World of Warcraft pacifier. And to this day, I still don't know if that baby was a boy or girl. But if it was a girl, her name was supposed to be Kylie. If it was a boy, I didn't have a name picked out yet. I have this necklace that I used to wear all the time on my neck. Because after this miscarriage happened, I went through a phase where I did nothing but cry to God and plead for a baby. And I had to learn to let it go. And when I did, I found out I was pregnant for the second time with my oldest Colton. And then I have this, and it says, The memory box has been lovingly painted by a member of Gulf Bay decorative artist chapter. So it's like a little memory box for the baby. And this is a flower that I kept from James's dad. It was a rose, pink rose. That I got. It was a bouquet of pink roses, and I kept this flower because I just kept it. I have a mood ring because I was wearing that, and a shark tooth necklace that my brother gave me. I don't know why that's in there, but it's in there. And one of these, oh, this is for my second and my third miscarriage. Okay, and so this is the hospital bracelet that I wore with my second miscarriage. I'm gonna get to that one first. But that's a little bit about my first one. My second miscarriage was awful. It actually almost took my life. Um, I went to ANMED OBGYN and I had Dr. Shelley. She was a great doctor, fabulous doctor, by the way. So if you have her for OB, you know that she's really good. If you don't have her, then I recommend her. I also recommend Dr. Lacey, but I don't think that he's there anymore. And what happened with my second miscarriage was I went in for my appointment. Everything was fine. I started bleeding. Went back to the hospital. At that point, the baby still had a heartbeat. Went back to the hospital. Then there was no heartbeat. Um, Found out that I lost the baby. Was still bleeding heavy. Bled for a month. So that baby had a heartbeat for a good bit before it passed. I was 8 weeks again. Um, Dr. Shelley gave me some pills to take. So to help me pass the baby. So I did that. They made me really sick. They made me have a lot of the runs. Um, they caused me to black out. I lost a lot of blood. I passed huge clots and I passed the baby. And I remember being at home and, you know, sitting on the toilet, blacking out, coming to and from, couldn't even stand up. I had to call an ambulance. Like, that's how bad it was. Like, this miscarriage almost took my life. I ended up going to the emergency room, getting a blood transfusion, and being driven to the AMED Women and Children's Hospital to deliver the baby uh, on the floor. But at that time, I didn't know the baby had already passed. I had been at home when it passed. And I remember seeing this thing. I remember looking for the baby, but I couldn't find it. But I was passing clots and clots and clots. And I remember calling the OB, like, what do I do if I pass the baby at home? And she's like, well, you can't mess with it. You can't bury it because that'll be against the law. So you have to flush it. So passing all those clots, one of them being the baby, got flushed. And I remember being really tore up about it, really upset about it. I really wanted to give it a proper burial. I thought about it. It sucks that you can't get your baby and bury your baby and give it a proper burial. Like, that was a baby. That baby was alive at one point. It had a heartbeat. Like, it knew my heartbeat. Like, it was connected to me. So she was like, just flush it. So I go to the hospital and I'm in labor and delivery at this point. They're checking me to make sure everything came out. Um, Everything at this point looked really clear. This miscarriage was the one that had me on the bathroom floor in the emergency room. Couldn't even stand up. I was blacking out, talking to God. I remember getting off the toilet and I remember falling to the floor. My mom went to go get a nurse to help me get up. And I remember begging God to please take me instead of that baby. Like, please take me instead of that. And I don't remember seeing him. I don't remember hearing him. It was dead ass silence. But there was this big, bright yellow light when my eyes were shut when I was out of it. And I just remember repeating myself, like, please, I'll do anything. Just let me have this baby. Let me take care of this baby, and you could have me instead. And I came to, and for a while after that miscarriage, I really hated myself. I felt guilty for being alive. I felt like I should have been taken instead. I didn't understand. I didn't understand why I was being told no. Um, that miscarriage was very painful. I'm trying my best not to cry. I've already teared up a little bit, but I'm trying my best not to cry. My third miscarriage was with a little girl, again at 8 weeks. All three of them happened at 8 weeks. I went to my OB appointment, and I remember we were doing a checkup on the baby. I hadn't started bleeding yet, and there was no heartbeat. So I had the doctor check again, no heartbeat. I went to the hospital, no heartbeat. They scheduled a D&C. I went back to the hospital the day before the D&C to make sure that baby was truly gone because I just did not want to believe it. I did not want to believe it at all. And it was. So on August 14th, I went into the hospital. I had the D&C. They removed the baby. Um, when I woke up, they told me that I lost a lot of blood. Even though this third miscarriage hurts a lot, I got closure in a way. I got to spend, my last couple of days knowing that the baby was gone. I got to say my goodbyes. I got to tell that baby how much I loved it. I got to pray. I got to think on it. I got to sleep on it. I got to say my goodbye. And with the other two, I didn't. Especially my first one, it happened so quick and I was so young. I just didn't get the chance. And I remember after I had the D&C with my third miscarriage, being in the bathroom in the garden tub at the house on Shiny Shore, and just like sitting there in the warm bath, looking out the window at night, feeling the pain in my heart, the hole in my heart, the loss, the confusion, the why, the madness of it. And I just remember telling God out loud, I remember saying, I wish I could just go up to heaven and just freaking take my babies back. Like, I don't understand why you're doing this to me. I don't understand if it's a lesson that I gotta learn. I don't understand what's going on. But I thought back to it, and when I had my first miscarriage, I spent a while praying. And I wrote down what I wanted. I wrote down that I wanted God to give me a baby, boy or girl. I didn't care. I just didn't want to be alone. James and I were going through a really rough patch. He wasn't there for me. He was continuously on the game for 12 hours a day. Just wasn't the best person. He wasn't who I needed during that time, if that makes sense. And as soon as I gave it to God, I found out that I was pregnant. And with my third baby, I really wanted a girl. I was really being pushed to have a girl. At this point, I already had two boys. Um, and I remember saying, if this baby is real, if this baby's going to be a girl, if this baby's going to be safe, please let the song Good Good Father play. And I was standing in the kitchen at Sunny Shore Lane, and that song came on. The song Good Good Father came on. And I just remember it being a coincidence. And I remember thinking it was a coincidence, but I remember telling him thank you. I remember saying thank you. And when I got the results of that baby, who is now Chelsea, she's 9 months now, um, I screamed at the top of my lungs. I was in the living room, I was on my phone, and I looked, and it said, "You want to know the gender of your baby?" On the result thing, I hit yes, and it said girl. And you could hear me scream. You guys could hear me scream. James ran in the living room. He's like, "What's wrong?" I'm like, "It's a girl, it's a girl, it's a girl." And I was so happy. And my story with her, I had two placentas when I gave birth. I gave birth naturally each time. And I almost lost my life with Chelsea because I lost a lot of blood and I was hemorrhaging. They gave me medicine to put me to sleep, and I kept coming to and from during that. I remember asking the nurse if I was gonna lose my life, like, I was so scared, and I remember them handing her to me, and I was gonna drop her because my hands were stuck to the bed rail, squeezing because it hurt so bad. And when they gave her to me, my hands would not unclench. They would not unclench. And I just remember saying, "Take her, I'm gonna drop her, take her, I'm gonna drop her," coming to and from. I had a washcloth on my head, and they gave me medicine, and they said it was gonna make me feel better, and it put me out. And when I came to, I was out for like 2 hours. And when I came to, my bleeding had slowed down a lot. I don't remember if I had completely stopped or not yet at this point. And my baby was in the was in the it's not the NICU, I don't think, that Anderson has. There's like a little incubator thing to keep her warm because her body temperature wasn't regulating because she didn't get that skin to skin contact. So that was my 6th pregnancy so far, my final pregnancy, and hopefully my last. I was supposed to get my tubes tied, but I just remember going to the hospital and knowing that James and I were having so much problems. This was less than a year ago. This was 9 months ago. That I just decided to keep my tubes untied, not go through with the surgery. 1, I was scared. 2, I hate being put to sleep. And 3, I wanted something to offer somebody in case I didn't end up with him. So talking about these miscarriages have me upset right now. I'll try my best not to cry. I've already teared up. There is something else bothering me that break up from a little less than 2 weeks ago. A lot of you guys know about that on my Facebook page, but I just want everybody to know, don't blame yourself. It's never your fault. Miscarriages do happen. Just because you have repetitive miscarriages like I have doesn't mean that you will not carry one day. Because I had a miscarriage. Colton, Carter, miscarriage, miscarriage again, Chelsea. And I bled with all of my pregnancies, even the ones that I did not miscarry. And I actually had a period with Chelsea at the very beginning. Um, so don't ever feel like you're alone. Don't ever you're gonna feel like you're alone. It's a lot of pain. You're gonna feel like nobody understands, but trust me, there are people that do. I did not have the help that I needed to cope. I did it all on my own. I blamed myself a lot. I was blamed by other people. And the second miscarriage that almost took my life, I came home from the hospital and I cleaned the whole entire house from top to bottom that day. James hadn't did one thing that I asked him to do. Um, I'm just thankful that during this video I didn't cry like a baby because I was so sure that I was. It's really hard not to. I've had a lot of life lessons, but I don't want anyone to feel like you're messed up because you can't have a baby because that's not true. Some people have 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 miscarriages and then finally carry. Some people have every other miscarriage and then a healthy pregnancy in between. There's 1,000 things that have to go correctly to make that baby live, to make that baby survive. That baby needs things. Everything's got to be 100% perfect. Um, so don't ever tell yourself that it's you, because I promise you it is not. I have been there. I understand that feeling. It is not. If anyone blames you, it's not your fault. You need to tell them to shut up and you need to walk away from that person. Yes, people get hurt. Yes, your other half hurts when you're going through a miscarriage too. But do not ever let them blame you, because that happened to me and I tore myself up over it. And I remember being in that bathroom when I got home, taking a shower, thinking, God, why did this happen to me? Like, what did I do that was so wrong? Please show me I can carry. Just show me I can carry, you know? But God gives back what's taken away. I've had 3 miscarriages, and then I've had 3 pregnancies that weren't perfect, that I did bleed during, and it's life, and it happens, and it is painful. So if you're going through a miscarriage, please reach out to me. I would love to be a friend. If you need help coping, I will be a listening ear. Trust me, I needed that, and I did not have anyone to be a listening ear for me. So just feel like you're not alone. Miscarriages do happen. It's not your fault, you know, and it will be in your cards one day. Have faith. And if you need to, pray about it. You might not get your answer right away. I didn't. I didn't get a healthy baby until I gave it to God and let go. How I did that, I have no idea to this day. I just did. But if you need someone to talk to, I'm here. I understand miscarriages. I understand what they're like. Some of the signs of miscarriages are light bleeding that turns into heavy bleeding, cramping. It feels like you're in labor a little bit. Your back really hurts. Passing huge clots, passing something that looks like a fetus. And when it happens, you know, it's a gut feeling. It's a sickening feeling. You'll know. You'll know. You will know. You will know in your heart. You will feel it. Um, but if anybody wants to talk about theirs, I'm here. I'm here to listen. I understand. So please reach out. Bye.